who knows? Maybe that'll be the day we have our next conversation.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Flem, happy Father's Day to you, man. Congratulations. I know your girls are going back east for college.
Yeah,
keep up the great work,
great
Flem.
accomplishment.
Oh, man, I'm proud of them. I am a proud dad these days. We had a great graduation weekend. It was really cool, and now I get to get teary over the next couple months thinking about sending them off.
Oh, man.
Is that looking at the bank statement at the end of the month, or is that just having them leave the house?
Maybe that too, but hell, if you need training, sending them to private school in San Francisco, that's pretty good training for a college film.
Hey, Lick Liberty ain't cheap, that's for sure. I know all about Lick Liberty. That's not a cheap place to go get your education.
It's hard to sticker shock me these days. I'm pretty immune.
Have a good one, Dave.
All right, Flip.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, man. Dave Flip here on the Morning Russell 95.7 Game. Said a lot of interesting things here about the Giants moving forward. The arms, the lineup, Tyro Estrada, Robbie Ray may be back after the All-Star break. Jordan Hicks, what's going to happen with him? Will he be a bullpen arm? Kyle Harrison is going to stick in a rotation. What do you do with the bullpen? Tyro Estrada not having good at-bats. I mean, good Lord, there's a lot going on with this team. They're one game under 500, and yes, we know they're still in the race. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in the race, folks. Guess what, Giants fans? Everybody's going to be within the third wild card spot by the deadline. Trust me, except the Rockies and the Marlins in the National League.
So it's very interesting. There's the innings logged for Jordan Hicks and for Kyle Harrison, which I think you've been on it for about 3 weeks now, and we are going to come to a head. I don't think we're there yet. We're probably a month and a half out, but both those guys are going to hit a wall at some point. A restrictor plate, if you will, put up by the organization and themselves.
Is that still a big deal in NASCAR, the restrictor plates?
Oh, I don't even know. I just use it as a term.
That was a big deal early on. I think after Dale Earnhardt Sr. passed away, the Intimidator, who was badass on the track. NASCAR is this big thing about restrictor plates early 2000. Anyway, cool.
No. But there's the pitching aspect. Robbie Ray coming back. Sounds like, from what he's saying, he's hoping he'll be back first rotation around after the All-Star break. That's big.
And he's throwing 97 right now, rookie ball.
That's big.
It's rookie ball, but he's throwing 97.
And I've heard from a couple different people, Cobb's kind of touch and go. One day he feels good, one day he doesn't feel good.
Not a guy I'm going to count on.
Yeah, but I think he knows, this might be...
This is it.
Toward the end. So I think he's going to give it a go. Anyway, point being, there's that. And then there's this other little nugget that I was thinking about. And it's the Luciano nugget. I say, hey, what do you make of him going to second base? And everybody, outfield. We heard that. And I remember me and you talk. I said, why don't you try him at second base before you turn over the stone to the outfield? Just try it out, Jeff Kent wasn't the greatest defensive second baseman when he first started, and he grew into it. Ryan Sandberg was a third baseman converted to second base. Yep. The reason why is certain positions you associate with power. Just because you have power doesn't mean that your power translates, if for example, Buster Posey, he's such a great player. Yeah, his bat is unreal as a catcher. You move him to first base, the standard for offensive production actually gets raised at first base because we associate that as a hitting position.
Power position.
Right? So Luciano's bat as a middle infielder still translates, whether it's shortstop or second base. If you put him out in the outfield, it kind of dilutes it. Now you're more a dime a dozen. Now I'm like, are you a 40 home run guy?
Right.
Or are you a 110 RBI guy? Are you a 280 batting average? So I guess where I'm going is you could be Alfonso Soriano at second base and be not the greatest fielder and hit a little better. You still have to be able to field a ground ball.
No, you do.
You're still going to have to be able to turn double plays. You're still going to have soft hands. Tyro has dropped a few on throws down to second. Tyro, his at-bats, the one I referenced, second and third the other day, no outs. You got to put the ball in play. You just have to if you're a light-hitting guy. So I didn't know if they were going to do this, but from the way it sounds like Tyro's spot is up in the air right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, all the spots should be in the air.
It's true.
When the stakes are high.
It's true.
And playoffs are the minimum for this team, there's no spot that's locked up, except for the catcher spot probably, and Matt Chapman at third base.
Yes.
Who almost hit a home run yesterday, but went foul.
It's a beautiful piece of hitting.
The Luciano thing's interesting, but in my brain, the way I've calibrated everything, if he gives you anything this year, anything productive, it's a bonus. It's a bonus to me. Can you trust him in the field? He gets out there at second base and he botches one. It's mental. I don't know if you could trust him.
Well, in second base, historically, if you say Yips, Chuck Knobloch, Steve Sachs immediately come to mind.
I mean, Chuck Knobloch still
position?
throwing it to the 10th row for the New York Yankees.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. And Chuck Knobloch was sick with the Minnesota Twins.
Knobloch was one of my favorite players before.
Sick with the Twins.
Before the Yips.
Oh, he got on my nerves. He was so good with the Twins.
Was he number 11 for the Twinkies?
I don't remember what number he was.
Spadoni, I need you to look
I just
that
remember
up.
the guy could hit. The guy could hit and field, and then he got to the Yankees, and it was like, what's going on here?
I know Carlos Baerga also had the Yips at one point.
Rick Ankill.
Rick Ankill, outfielder.
Couldn't even pace, just start throwing things to the backstop. So the big thing for me is this team's going to need the pitching. The team's going to need the pitching. The pitching is going to have to step up. And as long as they pitch, they're going to be in games. And then you pitch and you're in games, and all of a sudden Jorge Soler could go 1 for 4 with a home run. But that home run may mean something. You know what I'm saying? There's too much pressure on this lineup right now. You got a lot of guys who are hitting out of order. Matt Chapman's not a prototypical cleanup hitter. We know that. Soler's not your prototypical 7 hitter or 6 hitter. He needs to be up in the order. That's what you paid him to do. To me, I'm looking at this pitching. And as Fleming said about the bullpen, the way they're getting used right now is unsustainable. You're not going to be able to make it through August and September using this pin the way you do it. So what needs to happen? The starters need to go deeper into games. Whether it's Harrison, whether it's Hicks, whether it's Logan Webb, whether it's Blake Snell when he comes back. But it's good news that if you could just stay in this race, you could stay afloat, you're treading water, you're treading water, you're treading water. Now, all of a sudden you get Blake Snell and Robbie Ray back to go alongside Logan Webb. And all of a sudden your 1, 2, 3 looks dynamic.
Yeah.
Just on paper. It's like, wow, Robbie Ray, Blake Snell, Logan Webb, we're going to throw that at you in a 3-game series. And then you get Jordan Hicks where there's not much urgency for him to go 5. I could say, hey, Jordan Hicks, go 4 today. We're going to limit you today. It's hot out here. It's 100 degrees in St. Louis, Busch Stadium. It's humid. We're going to go 4. Give me 4. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, there's not much pressure on Hicks and Harrison to go as deep into games. Right now, we're asking them to go 6. You need 6. But the pitching has to rectify itself. Right now, Ryan Walker's pitching great.
Yeah.
Ryan Walker's great in the 7th. You got Tyler Rogers in the 8th. You get Camilo Duvall right in the 9th inning, and he was right yesterday. He's shut down the Houston Astros. I'm looking at the pitching here saying, I need you guys to step up in order to win. Because you're not going to hit with the Dodgers. Are you crazy? You're not going to out-hit the Dodgers. But you got to go pitch for pitch. You got to keep them guys off of bases. You can't walk these guys. So I'm looking at the pitching here as the most important issue for the Giants right now moving forward. Can I get 6 of my starters? Yeah. And can I limit the usage of this bullpen?
I just wonder, because you asked about these guys out of the bullpen. Like, I wonder if they go, let's say, 150 innings. I'm just going to use that as the round number. Both Harrison and Hicks. Are they just done for the year?
Yeah, see, I would move Hicks to the bullpen. I think he could be
prematurely
a weapon.
Before he hits that limit? Like,
I think I would try to ease it in August or September somehow, some way. But he's an arm where you could get, one inning, all of a sudden the velo goes up a little bit.
I'm with you.
He's going no.
And even if Harrison, and the reason why I actually like the bullpen idea, let's say you get into a playoff series and he's not one of your starters. Mm-hmm. You do need a bridge guy sometimes. Yeah. Like a starter gets bombed in a game, and you need somebody who can. And Sean Jelly, I think, is the perfect from the right side right now, where you can go 3 to 5 innings if need be. And I would put Harrison in that same conversation. Mm-hmm. You know, one more thing, like the Yips. I'm looking at it right here. I just had to type it in. You reference. Give me some of the guys when I say having the Yips defensively. What? Ankill's on this list.
Knobloch.
Chuck Knobloch's on this list.
Second Stacks. You already said Steve Sachs.
Steve Sachs on the list.
Who's another guy who had the yips? There's somebody else who had the yips.
How about
recently?
Johnny Lesta when he couldn't throw over to first base. It's the most insane thing. It's like his brain fried.
I don't even know if it's yips. It's just he didn't do it. Like he just refused to. Like it was arrogance almost.
But we didn't know that until the wild card game against the Kansas City Royals. I happened to be in Boston when he got traded to the Oakland A's. First of all, I thought you're trading your cleanup hitter for Johnny Lester. You just traded for Samardzija. That's the Oakland A's back then. Not to bring up old memories here. But when Kansas City started running all over him, and I'm like, he can't throw to first base? How the hell did he make all that money?
He wasn't the only one. Matt Garza at one point couldn't field a bunt. Yeah, remember that? He was a good pitcher and like would literally throw the ball down the line.
I did like me some Matt Garza.
I did too. He was solid.
I think he went to Fresno State. Yeah, he was a hothead, but he was tough as nails, man.
And here's another guy they got on this list, Mark Wohlers. Remember him from Atlanta?
Yeah, the closer.
Yeah, he just
closer for a long time in the 90s.
went haywire.
Oh, boy.
I know. And then here's one more position player.
What about John? I thought you were going to go John Rocker.
Oh, well, he went haywire for a different reason. How about Jared Saltalamacchia when he couldn't throw back down to second base?
Oh, the former Texas Ranger and the Atlanta Brave.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a switch hitting catcher?
Yeah, and at one point he had the longest name in baseball.
And he was a
World Series,
hot
the Red Sox,
prospect.
Yeah, he was a World Series winner.
He was a hot prospect. By the way, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and AC1 San Francisco. Not a C Sports station, always live on the free Odyssey app. Don't forget, you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer. Jason Richardson's going to join us in 12 minutes. He's playing for the Big Three now. Former Golden State Warrior. We'll get his thoughts on the finals, what's going on with the Warriors. Somebody saying Sasser had the yips. Mackie Sasser.
New York Mets.
Is that a Met? Is that a Met?
I think off the top of my head,
Yeah,
late
there you go.
80s.
Coach Buck is coming in.
Yeah.
Former Giant catcher.
Yeah.
Coach Buck. What up, Coach Buck? Mackie Sasser.
Behind Gary Carter, I believe.
Catcher with the Giants.
Behind Gary. I could be wrong. I just going back like Don Russ in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, you have like a picture of somebody from their card in your head.
The yips.
The
yips.
I
So
find
does
the
Marco
yips to be
Luciano
fascinating.
have the yips?
Like,
certainly looked like it at shortstop.
I thought for a time, late in games, I thought LeBron had the yips in free throws.
Oh, yeah, he did. Well, he changed his free throw form like 30 different times.
But it was clearly part physical, part mental, right?
He did not want anything to do with the free throw line down the stretch.
I feel like at times Andrew Wiggins didn't want to drive to the hoop because he was worried about the free throws. You know?
Yips.
And like you see this in golf a lot where you have the chipping yips or you get the putting yips. I don't know if you've ever had it in any sport. It just comes out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you just keep doing it. Like you're hitting hosel shots in golf, and you don't even know how it happened. Joey, I know you golf, so you understand exactly what.
You either push it, you chunk it, like it's what you just can't. You can't explain it.
You want to literally quit.
When Charles Barkley had that terrible form, was that the yips?
No, that was just him being terrible.
Oh, all right.
That was just him being
thought that
terrible.
was just the
The
yips.
yips is like, hey, I'm actually
like, right?
I'm actually proficient at something, but for whatever reason, there's a mental block that becomes mental physical, and I'm just done.
Evan Giddings, our own Evan Giddings, can talk to you about it. He pitched collegiately for a D3 school. I forget the name right now, but he says he stopped pitching because he got the yips. You should ask him about it, seriously. Maybe he'll bring it up on air with Steiny today. He's filling in for Guru, but he openly talked about it with me. Yeah, he's talked about it on air multiple times.
It's tough, dude. It starts seeping into your head, and it starts messing with you.
Block.
And well, it just. I mean, you see this in golf a lot with these guys with the putter, and it just changes their game. Vijay Singh, you remember Vijay Singh?
Of course, he was the Masters winner.
He had the yips.
Fiji.
Yeah, he had the yips so bad he started chipping cross-handed. No, I'm not joking. And that's the only way he can chip now. It's just it's so weird.
Beandrins had the free throw yips. He did have the free throw yips.
Or was he just bad?
Maybe he was a little bit of both.
Great hair.
Did have great hair.
Hey, Beatrins used to party it up. I knew a lot of people that hung out with him.
Dude, there was a player, now that I think about it.
Did Jimmy Garoppolo have fourth quarter playoff yips?
No, he had to pick 8 yips. There was a player whose free throw percentage was so bad, and he was a really good shooter. I got to think. I know Andrew Wiggins is one of them where he shoots really good and then he gets to the free throw line. Like, what the hell is happening here? I don't know. Anyway, the yips. Sometimes I get the yips. I get the bubble guts. Is that the same as the yips? No.
Totally different.
No, totally different.
Totally different.
Bubble yips.
Bubble yips. All right.
When I say yips, Sam, first name.
I think, who's the guy on the Dodgers? Was it Steve Sachs?
Yeah,
second
Steve
base
Sachs.
recap. Yeah, that's the one I always go to just because it's fun to put in front of Dodgers.
Chuck Knobloch right away.
Because he was so good.
Because Knobloch was, I thought he was up there with Roberto Alomar.
I think at one time, I think for a short period he was.
Is he? He's not in the Hall of Fame?
No. Knobloch? I think he ended with, I know he was with the Yankees for a minute, and I was like, great signing for the Yankees. Of course he's a Yankee.
Chuck Knobloch, not in the Hall of Fame. Dude, this guy was with the Twins for so many years. Let me see here.
4-time All-Star, 4-time World Series champion, Rookie of the Year, Gold Glove.
I mean, he was sick, dude. He was sick.
Been married 3 times, according to Wikipedia.
he'll get to 4 soon. 4-time
He's
All-Star.
got the wedding yips.
What's coming up in the
He's
game?
like big.